Mr. Craig, I'm getting very concerned about your testimony because I want you to remind you that you are sworn to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So let's go over what you just said. And I got to get it right in here because I'm kind of concerned because I don't want the public to not see this for the accurate truth. Mr. Craig, Governor Snyder recently named you as the new head of the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality last month. Your boss, Governor Snyder, and I'm hoping he's watching, by the way, gave this 2016 State of the State address. In his speech, Governor Snyder seemed to take responsibility for the Flint crisis, stating that, and I quote, "The buck stops here with me," and that, quote, "I take full responsibility to fix the problem so that it will never happen again." However, in the same breath, Governor Snyder also tried to blame the city of Flint, as it sounds like you're doing right now, and he said this, and I quote, "This crisis began in the spring of 2013 when the Flint City Council voted 7-1 to buy water from the Karenga-Nandi Water Authority," end of quote. Ms. Craig, do you agree with Governor Snyder's statement?
The question that I responded to, sir, was if they would never have changed their water source, would this issue have happened? And I believe that's a true statement because they were on Detroit Water and Sewer Department water, which was phosphated, and they had a 30-year history. So I apologize if I misrepresented.
No, I'm not finished. Just hold on. I'm not finished. We reviewed the resolution passed by the City Council and the minutes from the meeting. At no point during the meeting did the City Council vote to allow the Flint River to be used for drinking water. Isn't that correct, Mr. Spring?
I haven't reviewed those personally, but that's my understanding.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to introduce into the record a letter we just received yesterday from Sheldon A. Neely, who served on the City Council from 2005 to 2014. He was actually there. He was there, Mr. Craig, all right? In his letter, Mr. Neely explains that the City Council did not – do we have the letter? Where's the letter? You got it? Where's the letter? Oh, they have it. In his letter, Mr. Neely explains that the City Council did not make the decision to use the Flint River because, quote, "The Flint City Council had no power to actually enact any laws for the community. Everything went through the emergency manager," end of quote, who was appointed by the governor. He also says this, and I quote. Did you need something, Mr. Chairman? No, I okay. Oh, yeah. Would you please?
We'll enter the record without objections to order.
You're making me nervous with your finger in it. This is what he said. "It was the emergency manager, Ed Kurtz, who made the decision to use the Flint River as a primary source of drinking water for the city of Flint." Mr. Craig, are you aware of Mr. Kurtz's actions?
No, sir. I was not in the seat at the time.
And Mr. Craig, so Mr. Neely also wrote that, quote, "Governor Snyder's account of the events leading to this water crisis are completely wrong," end of quote. Why would Governor Snyder try to blame the City Council for this decision when it was his own appointee who made it, and you have a City Council that has no authority? There's something wrong with that. That's why I interjected here, because I want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Now, let me ask you, I'm not finished. Do you have any reason to believe that Mr. Neely is not telling the truth?
I have no reason to believe.
Now, Mr. Neely's letter is supported by statements from Flint's former mayor, Dane Walling. On January 22nd, 2016, he stated, and I quote, "After City Council and I expressed support for a new water supply from Lake Huron, the emergency manager, Edward Kurtz, went behind closed doors with the Department of Environmental Quality and decided to use the Flint River as an interim source, made the budget changes, and put that in place," end of quote. Were you aware of Mayor Walling's statement?
I am not.
All right. Based on the evidence, it seems that Governor Snyder was trying to blame the city of Flint for actions of his own appointee. And he did this in his State of the State address to the entire population of Flint. Now, let me ask you something else. Are the people paying right now in Flint for water they cannot wash in and cannot use and cannot drink? Are they paying water bills? And is it a part of the recovery? You said you want to make them whole. Is that part of it? Why would they be paying for water that they cannot even use, that is poisoning them? That's not American. As Mr. Chairman said, this is not a third world country. Are they paying those bills? Are you going to relieve them of that?
Everyone deserves safe drinking water, and that's the expectation. And yesterday, the governor introduced a supplemental for $30 million to help with that issue. The number one issue, as we've spoken with the mayor, is to make sure the utility remains solvent. And the billing is actually more of a city issue, but we understand and respect that, and everyone deserves water that is safe.
Mr. Chairman, as I close, these are people who are struggling. They're struggling. They've come over here, all the way here from Flint. I don't know how they got here. I guess on a bus. But the fact that they're here. But you know what, Mr. Craig and Mr. Chairman, they're also Americans. They're also Americans, just like you and just like your children. And I don't, and I want to be real clear. And the chairman will bear me out on this. I have said, I don't care whether it's EPA, whether it's local, whether it's state. I want everybody who is responsible for this fiasco to be held accountable. I'm not protecting anybody because that's not our job. We are the last line of defense. And if we don't do it, nobody's going to do it. I yield back.